Hi again. In this video, we are going to talk about the Italki lesson policy and how it can shape the actions we take before a lesson. It is important to remember that Italki's lesson policy is there to protect both students and teachers while on Italki. As such, it is a keystone of Italki's mission. Now, let's go get into some details. More than 24 hours before a lesson, if both you and the student agree, you are free to cancel or reschedule a lesson. Do keep in mind that if a student or you doesn't agree on the change, the lesson will proceed at its originally scheduled time. If the lesson is scheduled to happen within 24 hours, neither you nor the student is able to change the lesson time and will instead need to report a lesson problem after the lesson. We will cover more about reporting a lesson problem in future videos. To suggest changing or canceling a lesson, go to the lessons detail page and click Change Date or Time or click Cancel Lesson. Remember that a student needs to accept the changes to date and time for a lesson time to be rescheduled. If they decline or fail to respond, then the lesson will proceed as originally planned. Remember to proactively communicate with your students about any changes you need to make to a lesson. Showing up late or failing to attend the lesson can result in warnings or even being permanently removed from Italki. Also remember to encourage students to reach out to you in a timely manner if they need to make changes to the lesson. Communication really is the foundation of a good experience on Italki. Thanks for listening and see you in the next video.
Hi there, in this video we're going to talk about the Italki lesson policy and how it can shape the actions we take during a lesson. Once again, it's important to remember that Italki's lesson policy is there to protect both students and teachers while on Italki. Now let's get into some details. Previously, we discussed what to do before a lesson. Now let's look at some things that might happen during a lesson and how to manage them. First, a student may be late for class or fail to attend a lesson. We need to wait for students during the lesson time. However, we don't need to make up time for students being late. If a student never shows up to class, we need to wait the entire class time and report a lesson problem after the class. We will cover more on reporting a lesson problem in a future video. If the student fails to attend without previous notice, you, the teacher, are still entitled to the lesson fee. We should try to always communicate with our students first. During the lesson, if a student hasn't arrived, try reminding them via the messenger or sending them an email you're there and waiting for them. Students do receive reminders from Italki, but you can also make them aware. We need to remember that on Italki we are professionals and we should hold ourselves to a higher standard. Teachers should not be late or fail to attend lessons without prior notice to their students. Doing so can result in a warning or it being permanently removed from Italki. Remember to proactively communicate with your student about changes you or they need to make to a lesson. Communication really is key. Thanks for listening and see you in the next video.
Hi there. In this video, we are going to examine the lesson policy and actions you can take on Italki after a lesson time has passed. As you have learned in previous videos, after each lesson, both the teacher and the student are given an opportunity to rate the lesson and leave feedback. The students can also confirm the lesson is complete. These actions all need to be done within 3 days after the lesson's end time. But what happens if either the student or teacher had a problem, were late, or unable to attend the lesson? We are going to look at these situations and see the possible solutions. It is always preferable for students and teachers to maintain a positive relationship, and we encourage both parties to communicate and discuss possible solutions and come to a mutual agreement. In this situation, after the lesson, instead of marking it as complete, you or the student needs to click My Lessons and find the problematic lesson under the Waiting category. Then click There Was a Problem. Select the lesson problem from the list and Suggested Solutions. Finally, click Confirm and wait for the reply from the student. The students will be notified of the problem and the suggested solution. They are then able to accept or reject the solution. In a situation when a mutual agreement has not been reached, the lesson will go into dispute. Italki will send emails to both parties asking for evidence to resolve the dispute. Both students and teachers should submit evidence including communication records and screenshots within 3 days from the date of the dispute. Our support team will then settle the dispute based on the materials provided. Please remember that all Italki decisions are final. More details about how lesson problems and disputed lessons are processed can be found in the relevant articles in our teacher knowledge base. Do not forget you have 3 days to report a lesson problem. Otherwise, the system will automatically confirm the lesson was complete. Thanks for learning about Italki's lesson policies and lesson problem reporting. We'll see you in the next video.